changing to try and please me. You never let me down before. Don't imagine you're too familiar, and I don't see you anymore. I would not leave you in times of trouble. We never could have come this far. I took the good times, I take the bad times, I take you just the way you are.
All these familiar faces and the 15 regional companies who make the programmes in which they appear are part of the family of ITV. Like most families, we have our ups and downs, but we like to think there's enough reward and enjoyment to make it worthwhile. We hope you agree.
You always have my unspoken passion, although I might not seem to care. I don't want clever conversation. I never want to work that hard. I just want someone that I can talk to. I want you just the way you are.
ITV.
Now, the Clint Eastwood premiere, Pale Rider.
Great weekend. Took the kids out in the new prairie for the first time. Plenty of room, even with the dog. And the four-wheel drive handles like a dream. Glorious weather, too. This time of morning, the journey home will be quick. And tomorrow, who knows? Maybe we'll head for the coast.
The new prairie from Nissan. Driving technology forward.
You must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time goes by. So when two lovers woo, they still say, I love you. On that you can rely. No matter what the future brings.
Let a Pearl pension help look after the fundamental things.
As time goes by. The legend of Tony the Tiger.
Breakfast! Come and get it!
Same old grub again, Cookie.
Frosties, partners?
Isn't that, kitty food, stranger?
Well, the way I reckon, Kellogg's Frosties have a taste you never outgrow.
Mighty good.
Some folks call them great.
Much obliged, eh, stranger?
Who was that striped man, anyway?
It's a taste you never outgrow.
Sure, it won't let you down.
Starting September, the BSB Movie Channel will screen 6 first-run movies every single week.
Hey, creep! What do you think you're doing with my wife?
To receive BSB on your existing TV, all you'll need is our receiver box and Squarial. British Satellite Broadcasting. It'll even stop you snogging.
For all Today readers, enjoy a holiday amid the romance and beauty of France with accommodation for two absolutely free. Choose from dozens of top French hotels in glorious settings and stay free for up to 7 nights. And Jonathan Kaner, the Today astrologer, reveals your summer stars, careers, romance, and how to make the most of your holidays. Plus, in the sexually enlightened 80s, is he a good guy, a bad guy, or just another lover? Read Manhandling, Cher Heights' exclusive and controversial serialization. Make a change for the better. Today. Pale Rider continues after the news from ITN.
Thames, and tomorrow at 9, there's no peace for the wicked in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
This case of yours is certainly one of the darkest I have ever investigated.
Brian! Shit.
If this remains blue, all is well. If it turns red, it's a man's life.
The acid test for the great detective in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Tomorrow at 9 on Thames.
Don't believe it.
No, real draft Guinness in a can.
Let a Pearl pension help look after the fundamental things. Call free 0800 700 900 now.
Our loyal clientele will be pleased to hear that we at Togs have made a few refinements to our nappies. For your convenience, Togs now come in his and hers, each designed to give more ultra-absorbency where most needed. Quite so. In addition, the now classic elasticated waist, if I may so, is accompanied by the Togs Perfect Fit Band. Perfection. Togs, in our opinion, the ultimate design in nappies.
It's thrilling, chilling, exciting, and it's free. Get a free day out at Alton Towers only in the sun. Free entry, normally £8.99, but Sun readers can go absolutely free, and all the rides are free too. It's wild, a fantastic free day out at Alton Towers for every Sun reader only in the sun. Mandy Smith, 20 Things You Didn't Know About Bill Wyman's Bride-to-Be in the Sun. And Neighbours at Play. Find out what the stars really get up to when they let their hair down. It's all in the Sun this week.
Take a closer look at Sainsbury's fresh quarter-cut English leg of pork, ready scored for crisper crackling, and now down in price to 98p a pound.
Vax, Britain's best-selling vacuum cleaner. Wash it, wash it, wash it.
One of the 10 water and sewage businesses of England and Wales is Thames Water.
As our latest recruits, you'll be responsible for maintaining our reputation with the public. How good is that reputation? This good. We've been voted best car rental company every year for the past 6 years. We are now chosen by more people than any other car rental company in Europe and the UK. Why? Because we're the only company to guarantee service excellence. Because at Avis, every one of us tries harder. Thank you.
This is Thames from London. Later tonight we have another in the series on commercials, Making the Break, presented by Emma Freud. But now we go over to the studios of ITN for the latest national and international news.
The news from ITN.
Risley warders use sledgehammers to escape rioting inmates. A man is charged with murder after Monk Seaton shooting rampage. May Day riots in Turkey, 36 injured, 900 arrested. And by the biggest margin ever, Steve retains his world title. Good evening. Prison officers at Risley Remand Centre said tonight that up to 90 inmates have gone on the rampage, smashing cells and furniture in 2 wings. 3 injured officers were taken to hospital. Sledgehammers were used by warders to rescue terrified colleagues trapped in a cell. Some inmates clambered onto the roof and unfurled banners condemning the conditions inside.
Scores of police were drafted into Risley after inmates in B Wing tried to take a prison officer hostage. Police in riot gear crushed that disturbance, but prisoners had wrecked 45 cells and there was fierce fighting throughout the block.
2 officers sustained broken fingers and that 1 officer has cracked ribs. There is no indication that any prisoner has been injured.
The rooftop protest in D Wing followed that earlier riot. Inmates were told normal visiting rights were suspended because of the disturbance. Some 60 prisoners had barricaded themselves into the block after wrecking part of the interior. The full extent of the damage still isn't known. Some of those on the roof collected bricks and other missiles. The one on the right brandished a captured riot shield. The prisoners' makeshift banners complained of conditions inside the centre, known as Grizzly Risley. After a number of suicides here, the government commissioned a report. That report described conditions inside Risley Remand Centre as squalid and barbarous. Millions of pounds are being spent on new accommodation inside Risley. And hundreds of old cells are being refurbished, though the riot blocks are yet to be redecorated. But after prisoners pushed out an entire side of the brick wall, prison officers' leaders condemned the orgy of destruction.
2 of my members were trapped on D6 landing. On my instructions, they entered the cell on that landing and locked themselves in. I then gave further instructions to members of my works branch to smash down the outer wall so we could retrieve those 2 men and get them out as safely and as quickly as possible.
And that happened? You got them out?
That happened, yes, but during the course of that, one of my members received injuries, which 2 broken fingers and a broken nose.
Tonight, the prison was again quiet, with most of the prisoners back inside. Mark Webster, ITN, Risley.
A man will appear in court tomorrow charged with murder following the shootings in Monk Seaton in Tyne and Wear, which left 1 man dead. 22-year-old Robert Sartin is a civil servant from Whitley Bay. The incident sparked calls for a further tightening of the gun laws, but the Home Office Minister, Douglas Hogg, said it would be impossible to legislate against the isolated acts of a madman.
The victim of the Monk Seaton mayhem lies in front of PC Danny Herdman, who arrested a gunman minutes later. Reminders of yesterday are still evident in this quiet suburb. And today the local MP, Neville Trotter, talked to those who saw the shootings and called for tighter controls on guns.
But most of us are just horrified at the thought that you could kill and maim 10 or 12 people in as many minutes. And it does show that a shotgun is an extraordinarily dangerous weapon.
As detectives try to find out what prompted these seemingly motiveless attacks, the injured told their stories.
As I got into the driveway, I looked over my shoulder and he was pointing a gun at me and he just fired the rifle. Hit me in the back and the side, and obviously got my car and threw me against the car, and I just ran into the house and to see if my face was still there, because that's the only part I thought he'd hit.
How many pellet holes have you counted?
60 up to now. So that's with my trousers on.
And are they going to stay in or what?
They are staying in, yes. They've taken 6 out that they could actually see. The rest are staying in.
Tynesiders here are understandably still shocked by the shootings. They're the only topic of conversation. And the question on everybody's lips is why? Why here and why us? They said the same in Hungerford, and new laws since 1987 give police increased power to turn down applications for shotgun licenses if they feel a person is unfit. An old law stating that one licence covers any number of shotguns will be modified, so police must be informed if more than one gun is purchased. But one thing isn't changing. You can apply for and hold a licence at any age. Tonight on Tyneside, a 22-year-old civil servant who lives here was charged with murder. Simon Cole, ITN, Monk Seaton.
Abroad, violent clashes between riot police and demonstrators have marked May Day parades in Turkey. Police opened fire in Istanbul, injuring more than 30 people, some seriously. About 900 people were arrested around the country. May Day marches had been banned by the government.
Thousands of workers took to the streets to demonstrate for wage rises in defiance of a government ban on May Day protests. The marchers began pelting the police with stones. Fearing they were losing control, the police responded by firing warning shots to disperse the marchers. But soon afterwards, it appears shots were being fired directly at protesters. The unions are seeking wage rises of up to 200% to compensate for inflation. 2 protesters were shot dead in clashes in Istanbul last year, also during May Day marches.
And there was trouble too in the Czechoslovak capital Prague, where dozens of people, including a BBC reporter, were arrested. Anti-government protests erupted before and after the official May Day rally addressed by Communist Party leader Miloš Jakeš. His government will now face a formal British protest over an alleged police assault on BBC reporter Misha Glenny, who was detained for 5 hours. But 100,000 people in Moscow danced and sang in one of the most relaxed parades ever seen there. The Soviet authorities cancelled celebrations in Armenia and Georgia, where they're mourning people killed by natural disaster and political violence. But thousands of Armenians defied the ban for a peaceful demonstration.
The festival mood with balloons, paper flowers and banners preached the successes of the Gorbachev era, the new openness and political freedom. On Lenin's mausoleum, Mr. Gorbachev stood with a Politburo now virtually moulded to his style of politics. Missing from this lineup for the first time in decades, the veteran Andrei Gromyko, one of more than 100 party old guard axed in last week's power shuffle. But while they marched for Gorbachev and Perestroika, there's a growing realization here that the big drive to boost living standards isn't working. A harsh May Day reminder of that is the introduction, today, of sugar rationing in Moscow. Tomorrow, the May Day marchers will be back with the queues and food shortages that are daily life in the capital.
100,000 supporters of the Polish trade union Solidarity marched through the streets of Warsaw for their celebrations. The ban on Solidarity was only lifted last month. In other cities, riot police used tear gas and truncheons to break up anti-government rallies. At a May Day rally here, the TUC leader, Norman Willis, warned the government and employers of a possible spring of discontent. With a number of unions deciding on industrial action over the next few weeks, Mr. Willis advised against what he called management arrogance.
Britain works best when workers and management cooperate. I don't doubt that. And I would not relish a spring of discontent. But avoiding that is in the hands of the employers. Respond, listen, negotiate, settle on a sensible basis, and we can go forward.
Chinese student leaders have denounced meetings with the government by officially selected students as window dressing. They've threatened another mass demonstration later this week unless what they call proper talks take place. The Chinese authorities have said that there'll be unimaginable consequences if the protests continue.
As Red China celebrated May Day, the Communist Party urged the masses to maintain order and stability, a sign of their anxiety over the popular support shown for the students' pro-democracy campaign. The government has made concessions. State television has repeatedly broadcast pictures of meetings between government officials and selected students, an apparent attempt to convince China's citizens they're sincere about dialogue on democracy. But student leaders claim it's a sellout, no more than a trick to undermine their movement in the eyes of the people. They're frustrated at the government's refusal to recognize their new independent union.
It's a serious attack on our movement, but it will only make us more determined and united.
Students from all over China were arriving in Beijing today with reports and photographs of their own demonstrations. Campus committees are broadcasting information to counter official propaganda, drawing up fresh plans to pressure the government into holding serious talks. Both sides are trying to win the hearts and minds of the people. The government today wooing the workers by expressing sympathy for complaints about soaring inflation and widening income gaps. The government's greatest fear is that discontented workers will join forces with the students. Right now, they're doing their best to make sure that doesn't happen. Jeremy Thompson, ITN, Beijing.
8 victims of the alleged poison gas attack by Soviet troops in Georgia have gone on hunger strike in hospital. They're demanding that the victims are provided with an antidote to the effects of the gas. The military authorities say they only used tear gas to control last month's ethnic protests in Tbilisi, not nerve gas, as local health officials claim. The Law Society has welcomed the Lord Chancellor's proposals to allow solicitors to represent clients in any court in England and Wales. But the Society said other changes proposed in the Green Paper on law reform are dangerous and could drive many solicitors out of business. Steve Davis had an overwhelming victory in the Embassy World Championships in Sheffield. It's his 3rd win in a row and his 6th in 9 years. Davis outclassed John Parrott by 18 frames to 3.
From the start of what turned out to be the final session, Davis was in control. John Parrott could only watch as the master cleaned up frame after frame. But midway through the afternoon, Davis fumbled, potting a red and snookering himself on all colours. At last, a laugh for Parrott.
I know what it feels like.
But he was soon to feel it again himself. With Davis now poised for victory, he just couldn't find form. When the finish came, there was no flourish, not even a ball sunk, just Parrott's concession as Davis took his 6th world title.
13, Steve Davis.
What do you say about a win 18-3? It proves snooker's not fixed for a start, because nobody in their right mind would ever make a final like that, because it's a non-event in many ways. But it was a big event for me.
And quite an event for snooker as Davis took the title with the biggest winning margin ever scored. Simon Marks, ITN Sport, Sheffield.
Soccer, Arsenal have gone 6 points clear at the top of the First Division after beating Norwich 5-0 at Highbury this evening. The best of their goals came from the league's top striker, Alan Smith.
What a great effort! Oh, my word, what a goal!
And the results of tonight's other matches in Division 2, Blackburn 2, Bournemouth 0, Leicester 1, Oldham 2. In Division 3, Notts County 3, Brentford 0, Port Vale 1, Northampton 2. And in Division 4, Hereford 2, Tranmere 1, Stockport 2, Wrexham 2. And that's the news so far tonight. From the newsroom, good evening.
Good evening. Well, with temperatures today in Doncaster warmer than many places in the Mediterranean, I think it's safe to say that the new month is heralding warmer and better weather. Well, certainly by the end of this afternoon, we had a lovely belt of sunshine from north of the Thames right up to the north of England, and it's going to stay that way really for the rest of the week. Well, first of all, tonight it's going to be a very dry night in most of England and Wales. Quite a bit of cloud around, but fog too in central areas and on this western and southwesterly coast, where there could be a little bit of coastal drizzle too. But we've got rain continuing up in Scotland, just pushing a little further south, so that by the end of the evening it could get into Northern Ireland. And up in Scotland too, those winds picking up speed a little bit. Now tomorrow, a similar pattern to today, but there is going to be more sunshine around, particularly in the south of England and in general down this eastern side of the country. The same trouble spot up in Scotland associated with that cold front. Now tomorrow it's just gradually starting to edge south, so that by the end of the afternoon there could be rain in Northern Ireland and southern Scotland too. And as that shifts southwards behind it up in the far north of Scotland, it could brighten up for a little while. Now, temperature-wise tomorrow, well, I've taken a bit of a gamble and I've put the first 20 of the year down here in the south of England. Everywhere else looking quite good, with a minimum of about 12 up in the north of Scotland.
In a moment, we continue the Clint Eastwood premiere, Pale Rider.
Making the break.
In this week's programme, after weeks of planning, the cameras finally roll on the Pimm's commercial, and we'll be taking a look at the portrayal of women in television advertising. But first, we take a look at the serialised mini-dramas in TV advertising, ranging from out-and-out soap operas to the gentle Jewish humour of Maureen Lipman's work for British Telecom.
Well, you don't have to bite my head off.
Making the break.
If you want to know what it feels like to drive a powerful 2.9-litre fuel-injected engine, how it feels to stop on anti-lock brakes, or what it's like to relax in leather-upholstered seats, just phone anyone who drives a Ford Scorpio and ask him.
Hello.
Oh, hello, darling. Tell me, what does it feel like to drive a powerful 2.9-litre fuel-injected engine to stop on anti-lock brakes?
You ask how much I need you. Must I explain? I need you, oh my darling, like roses need rain. You ask how long I love you. I'll tell you true. Until the 12th of never, I'll still be loving you.
When you get a Start Line mortgage, you also get a guarantee.
I love you till the bluebells forget to bloom. I love
Whenever you need more money, for a new house, or for home improvements, with Start Line, you'll get the money without delay.
Until the 12th of never, and that's a long, long time.
Start Line from Bradford and Bingley. We're with you all the way. And that's a promise.
Long time.
Vax, Britain's best-selling vacuum cleaner. Wash it, wash it, wash it.
Go on, guess where? There's a golden city, a red sea, lush greens, oranges, coppers, and bronzes. Breakfasts this colourful, hotels this inviting, and your pounds now worth more than ever. It could only be Israel.
Thames, and Wednesday at 10:40 with intent to kill. A young girl is murdered, and 4 years later, her murderer returns.
How could they do it, Win?
What?
Turn that boy loose.
But his freedom is haunted by memory and retribution.
You will have to decide if you want to send your father to jail to free your sister's killer.
With intent to kill, Wednesday at 10:40 on Thames.
Now, the concluding part of Pale Rider.
liquid's been launched. Surf Automatic Liquid.
You can always tell if someone's with Clerical Medical. He's not. With your investments, life assurance and pensions carefully planned, you'll look the future straight in the eye. Talk to your financial advisor about Clerical Medical for forward-looking people.
The new Vauxhall Cavalier is available with a four-wheel drive system so advanced that we've enlisted Lawrence Colley, age 2, to explain it. On a good surface for traction, Lawrence, like the new Cavalier, is quite happy on two-wheel drive, so to speak. Nicely handled, Lawrence. While here, on a slippery slope, our four-wheel drive model will instinctively use all fours. And once past the tricky bit, the power goes back to normal. The new Vauxhall Cavalier, with intelligent four-wheel drive. Thank you, Professor Colley.
This is what happens when you take on too many responsibilities.
Morning, Mr. Inlow.
Morning. And this is what happens when BET helps you to shed them. Day-to-day hassles like office cleaning, drinks dispensers, distribution and warehousing, scaffolding, plumbing, fire alarms and security. In fact, whatever support service you'd like us to take on, from washroom maintenance to air conditioning, you'll find BET will gladly take the load off your shoulders, leaving you on top of the company instead of the company on top of you. BET. Phone us on 0800 010122.
Are you a Bovril body?
I've been told by those who know that it contains 20 calories a cup.
Are you a Bovril body?
I know from personal experience that it has a delicious taste.
Are you a Bovril body?
Just look at all this. Perhaps you should try it for yourself.
Are you a Bovril body?
I know I am.
Imagine a shampoo, this pure, this gentle. Timotei shampoo with natural herb extracts. Timotei rinses clean away to leave your hair soft and shiny, no matter how many times you use it. Timotei, all it leaves is beautiful hair.
E la luna balla in splendore. Just one cornetto, give it to me. Delicious ice cream of Italy. Its taste is just supreme. Give me cornetto from Walls Ice Cream.
When it comes to ground control, the Black & Decker Command Feed Strimmer flies low and fast. At 9,000 RPM, its tough cutting line slices through the undergrowth. Its unique command system feeding out new line for non-stop action. With two-handed control for easy lawn edging, the strimmer puts real power in your hands. Black & Decker, tough tools for tough jobs.
Next on Thames, Making the Break lifts the lid on the glossy world of the television commercial. Thames. Next Monday at 9, the Kirk Douglas premiere, Amos.
Amos, look out!
And a tragic accident.
You can't walk and your wife is dead?
I'm Miss Dawes, Daisy Dawes.
Nurse Dawes came into my room one night. I saw her kill my roommate, Johnny Kent.
Well, don't worry about Amos. I know what to do with him. Amos, I think you're going to get smart.
Kirk Douglas stars in the thriller Amos, next Monday at 9 on 10.
We need to meet. It's got to be somewhere discreet. Wall Street has ears.
He's leaving for London. There's something heavy going down. I don't care how you do it. I want to know what he's doing and why.
Hello, Mr. Cameron.
Good morning.
Your Club World boarding pass? Enjoy your flight.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Good morning, sir.
I like your style, Jack.
Club World delivers the businessman ready to do business. British Airways, the world's favorite airline.
Don't be so mean to your hair.
Damage caused by everyday washing and styling soon adds up.
Get hot.
But VO5 Hot Oil protects your hair by actually penetrating and conditioning deep down. For daily damage, get the weekly repair. VO5 Hot Oil.
Are you a body?
One is constantly searching for new and exciting experiences.
Are you a body?
They bring me this and that, but I'm afraid I just couldn't care a fig.
Are you a body?
Fortunately, there's new chicken Bovril. 20 calories a cup and a delicious taste.
Are you a body?
I always like to try something new. Don't you?
It's thrilling, chilling, exciting, and it's free. Get a free day out at Alton Towers only in the sun. Free entry, normally £8.99, but sun readers can go absolutely free, and all the rides are free too. It's wild, a fantastic free day out at Alton Towers for every sun reader only in the sun. Mandy Smith, 20 things you didn't know about Bill Wyman's bride-to-be in the sun. And Neighbours at Play. Find out what the stars really get up to when they let their hair down. It's all in the sun this week.
These three girls are all wearing new Harmony hairspray.
Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it with Harmony.
New Harmony hairspray with firmer hold and gentle conditioning. If it's your style, hold on to it.
The legend of Tony the Tiger.
Breakfast! Come and get it. Same old grub again, Cookie.
Frosties, partners?
Isn't that, kitty food, stranger?
Well, the way I reckon, Kellogg's Frosties have a taste you never outgrow.
Mighty good.
Some folks call them great.
Much obliged, eh, stranger?
Who was that striped man anyway?
It's a taste you never outgrow.
Thames with Tom Television for Tuesday. At 7, there's a scandalous affair in Fresh Fields.
If Mum thought that you were getting involved elsewhere, she might look at you with different eyes.
Not a bad idea. At 7:30, Hitman, the high-tech quiz. Your host, Nick Owen. At 8, robbery and assault in the bill.
I'll cut you. Whoa, whoa.
You're a lucky man. Lucky. At 8:30, comedy in After Henry.
When I do die, I don't want to cause any trouble after I've gone. Why change that?